Hello students, welcome to the next chapter flowcharts. In the last class we have learned about algorithms. Okay, so the flowcharts is an extension or another way of representing the algorithms. So in this chapter we'll be learning what a flowchart is, what are the different types of boxes or pictures used in flowcharts, and how we'll represent the sequence problems, selections and iterations in the flowchart. So we learned algorithms. What is an algorithm? Just recollect. Algorithms are step-by-step procedures to solve a problem. So similarly, flowchart is also doing the same thing but in a different way. They'll represent it as pictures. Every step is represented as pictures in case of flowchart. But in the case of algorithm, everything was explained in step by step, like 1, 2, 3, etc. But here, all the steps are represented as pictures. So, see the definition. A flowchart is a type of diagram that represents an algorithm or process, showing the steps as boxes of various kinds and their order by connecting them with arrows. We'll see an example of an algorithm. See, this is an example of an algorithm. What is the problem here to solve? The problem is my lamp. What are the steps involved for repairing a lamp? So first step is lamp doesn't work. So what I have to do? There we'll have to check whether lamp is plugged in or not. If it is plugged in, we have to follow another section, or if it is not, then you have to plug in the lamp. Again, if bulb has burned out, what have to do? Again, a decision has to be taken. If yes, you have to replace bulb or you have to replace the lamp. So this is a step-by-step representation of how we can repair a lamp. Similarly, for the other problems also, we will represent the solution in a pictorial format and we'll connect every step using the arrows here. So you might have seen we have used different figures. That is, first figure was a rectangle, second one was a diamond shape, etc. So similarly, there are different shapes that helps you to draw a flowchart. The symbol arrow, or it is also known as flow lines. It is used to connect symbols and indicate the flow of logic. And the round-ended rectangle, you can see the second symbol is a round-ended. See, this is a round-ended rectangle. This rectangle is also used to represent the starting and end of a task. It's also known as a terminal. It is round-ended. Specifically, you have to check that it is round-ended rectangle. It's also known as terminal symbol. Now coming to the next symbol. The next symbol is input output. It is a parallelogram which is used to represent the input and output operations in your program. So the next one is processing symbol, where it is a rectangle. It's a proper rectangle. Okay, and this rectangle represents what are the things that we write inside that rectangle. It is used for arithmetic and data manipulation operations, and the instructions are listed inside the symbol. Next, coming to the symbol is rhombus, or the decision making. See, when you want to have a decision between yes or no, you have to write that. Which step is coming under that situation, you have to write it in that one. So we'll see an example for that. It has this decision making box has four options, right? There will be two exit paths here, only one entry and two exit paths. We'll see, and in both exit paths we'll be either putting yes or we'll be putting no. Now see an example for finding that we are going to draw a flowchart to find the sum of two numbers. Okay, two numbers. So starting with the start symbol, we learned that we are using what? It is the terminal symbol which shows the starting and end. You have to draw the start first. Then what you have to do to find the sum? To find the sum, you need two numbers, right? I need A and B to find the sum. So first you have to take input as A and then take input as B, or you can combine these two together. Input A comma B can also be written. What is actually happening there? You are taking two inputs A and B from the user. And what's the next step? The question was to find the sum. You have to find the sum as total is equal to A plus B. And then you found out the sum, you have to print it. For the display as well as taking the input, we have to use the parallelogram. After that, you can stop using the terminal symbol. So this is an example how you draw the flowchart for sum of two numbers. Here you can see that there is no change in the sequence. It is one after the other, one after the other, and one after the. So it can be considered as a sequence. Okay, it can be considered as a sequence of steps. Now coming to the next question, draw a flowchart to find the bigger number between two numbers. So it is actually what you are selecting. You have in this program or in this flowchart you have to be selective. So how does it start? It starts with the start terminal you have to take two numbers. See, we are going to find the bigger number between two numbers, right? So get the two numbers from the user and you are using a parallelogram here. Okay, and if you are getting two numbers, how will you find it? You have to check whether A is greater than B or not. So all the checking type is done within this rectangular box. Sorry, not rectangular, rhombus box, or it's a diamond. You can call it as a diamond also. So it has only, you can see that it is having one entry point and it is having two exit points, yes or no. If it is yes, you can print A. What does that mean? If A greater than B, yes. So you have to print A. If A is not greater than B, it will be printing the B, which means that the flowchart will give you the biggest number as the output. And finally, you have to end it or stop it. So what you have to do? You have to give an end statement by taking the output from both the places. Okay. So now coming to iteration. Iteration is nothing but repetition of the steps multiple times. Repetition of the problem or repetition of the steps multiple times. Here you have to find the flowchart or draw the flowchart for finding any factorial of any number. What do you mean by factorial of a number? 5, for example, 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that is 5 factorial. So any number factorial is equal to that number into that n into n minus 1 factorial. N into n minus 1 factorial. So similarly, this step starts with start. You have the fact. Fact is a variable used for storing the number 1, finding this factorial, and number initially I'm giving it as 0. Then you can ask the number from the user. He'll ask the user as a number has to be input and the number is read by the computer, and they'll check whether the number is equal to 1. If the number is equal to 1, you have to if the number is greater than 1, you have to find factorial is equal to factorial into num. Why? Because I told you that 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So you have to continuously find the factorial of its lower numbers. So that's why we are doing this, and the number has to be increased to 1. And when the number is decreased by 1, when the number reaches 1, what happens? The processing stops and you have to print the value. So in this chapter, what all things we learned? We learned that for the definition of the flowchart, we learned different symbols, flow line symbol, terminal symbol, input and output symbol, processing symbol, and decision making symbol. So that's all, and write down this homework in your notebook and send it to me. Thank you.